Hello ladies and gentlemen. I know it's been a while since I've done a card. I've been kind of thinking about it. It's been busy summer, so I finally have some time to do one for you. And I wanted to show you a new method that I've learned recently of making a card out of a plain 12 by 12 paper. Out of it I can make two separate cards. So what I do is cut it into two different halves. Well, basically you'll need a little bit more. You'll need a little scrap of paper to finish another base for the card, but I'll explain it a little bit later. So what you do is you cut it at, you measure either 7 inches and cut it, or 5 inches is what's going to be left, or the other way, either way. So basically you have 5 inches here and 7 inches here, and just cut it right down there on your cutter. And that gives you two different bases. It gives you this base of 6, let me put it on here so you can see it, of 6 inches further, like that. So there's 6 inches right there. So that's how long it's going to be there. So there's two halves of 6. And then this side is the 5 that I told you, where you'd cut it off. This is the part where you would cut the 5, or the bigger one, this one right here, is the 7. So this is the 7-inch one right here. So this would be 7 inches. So this is kind of what we're going to do. I'll explain it a little bit more as we go. I've done most of the preparation ahead of time to save some time, but we still need one more cut to do that we're going to do, and I'll explain it in a little bit. So here's the 12. Let's zoom out. So this is 12 inches right there, and this would be 7 inches this way. So basically if I put it next to each other, that would make it 12 by 12 sheet. So what we do on this one, you need to score it in 3 different places. 1, 2, and 3. The first 2 would be scored at 1 inch. So this line is scored at 1 inch, and then the next one would be at 2 from the beginning. That would be 2 inches. So there's 1 inch here, 1 inch there. And then the next one would be at 7 inches. That would make the card 7 inches by 5. So when the finished product would be 5 inches this way and 7 inches lengthwise this way. So it'd be 5 by 7 card when you finish. And you know that's my favorite size, so that's why I decided to go with it. And with the 12, it gives us perfectly 2 extra inches to do something extra with it. I got this new die from Gemini or Crafter's Companion. It's a happy die, and it's not a fully cut out die. It stays attached at the very bottom, right there. So what you do, you line up, there's these little latches right here. That tells you where the bottom of the letters are, and it's on both sides right there. So you put that on your first line right here. You line it up the best you can on both sides, just like that. So tape it on, and then we will die cut it. If you have the Gemini, it's going to fit it in there just perfect. I have another scrap of paper. I'm going to show it to you on here. This is for the other card. So I'm going to line it up. Let me show you. Line it up on the lines right there. And I will cut it for you. Sorry about my really old plates. But what happens is, when I take this off, this die actually doesn't cut it off fully. Lifts this word up just like that. We can get that out of there. Just like that. So when it's against the card, ta-da! Let me put like pink so you can actually see better. Like that. See? That's what this die does. Okay. So what I did with this one, because this is 6 by 5 and there's no extra there, what I did, I took another scrap piece of paper. I took 2.5, but you can do 2 1/4 if you want. It's up to you. It's just this little flap right here, depends how you want it. And the same thing, you scored it 1 inch and then you scored it 2 inches. And then I put a piece of tape on there so that I can attach this to my card base. So line it up carefully and put it right in the fold. Just like that. If by any chance you have somehow a little bit of extra, you can always just trim it a little bit to make it fit perfectly, one against the other, just like that. So now here's what we have. We have a longer sheet of paper and we have the word die cut in there already. What I would suggest doing is, because there is these holes at the bottom, what I would do, I would maybe attach a piece of paper down there in white. I would cut another piece of paper inch wide. Let's get my little cutter. So it's 5 inches long and we just needed an inch. Okay, so I'm gonna hold it, cut it, and this would be 1 inch, or you can make it a little bit smaller. And then this would have to be 5 inches because that's what our base is like. So that's at 5 inches. And then you can just glue it right on to there. And when you're gluing it on, make sure your letters are folded this way first of all. And second of all, make sure you're gluing it on here so you don't have any extra glue anywhere. So I would glue it right on here. That way I know the glue will only be where it needs to be. And then just put this right in there. Oh, moved a little bit. Make sure it's all perfectly straight. Nothing is sticking out anywhere. And there you go. This doesn't give you any holes and it makes the card a lot stronger. You can see the word happy cut out in the back there, but because it's reinforced, you're all good. You don't have to worry about it. So here's your stand-up card. And then you can decorate it in any way you want. You can either, so that would be the card right there. Let's actually attach that on so you don't have to worry about it. Okay, and then we'll do this in the middle, just like I like to have it, to make sure it's holding on really well. And I forgot to tell you about the paper I'm using. This beautiful paper is it's double-sided Rooted in Love, and it is hot off the press. Put it like that so you can see it. And that's the different sheets that come in here, and that's the paper, the colored printed paper that I'm using. It's not cardstock, this is just paper, but it's perfect to add to the backgrounds. And then, so this paper, I actually made it 5 3/4 by 4 3/4 because my paper is 6 by 5, so I took off 1/4 of an inch on all the sides. And so when you line it up, just make sure you have balanced on all 3 sides, because this is going to be the side that's really seeable. So make sure that's the side that is going to be perfectly done. And then you can do a couple of different things. You can either attach exactly 1 inch strips on here to make it match, and then also the word, I die cut it out and then just trimmed the bottom so I can glue it right on there, just like that. It'll make it sturdier, and it'll give it some color instead of just having it white. And also you'll have that base at the bottom, so basically you'll have a card like this, and then you can decorate the rest of it any way you like. You can add some flowers to it, maybe just 1 flower, do it like this, and just add 1 flower to it like that. And there you go. And you can add the word, let's say birthday, right at the bottom there to say happy birthday. But you can do whatever you like. The decorating is kind of up to you. I just like it because it actually stands up. So let me take this off and I'll show you. So when you put this card up, it stands like that because it's got this shape to it. So that's the 5 by 6 card, and then and you can do it in different colors, it's up to you. Let me do the 5 by 7. I'm going to do my best of wrapping this up so I can cut it. Thank you very much for watching me. Don't forget to subscribe. And just leave nice comments. Don't say anything rude. I just share what I make with you. So if you don't like, you can just pass by. You don't have to be mean or anything. So make sure that this end gets wrapped around. Otherwise, if it's not, it's going to cut through both layers, and we don't want it to do that. Okay, so we die cut it out. Attach the little piece of paper at the bottom there. And I'm actually going to snip a little bit on here because of the big paper. Barely fit in there, so it's giving me a little bit of a hard time. Okay, so And that freed up the letters a little bit, just like that. So what I'm going to do is cut an inch long strip here again. And then we need it to be 1 by 7. I can do. So let's just do this. And remember, gluing only on the backs. Make sure you get the letters out of the way, first of all, so you don't glue them on. And then the rest of it gets folded in there. Now, we're going to fold the letters the other way, just like that. And then we're going to glue on here on the back. Put the glue everywhere on the back here. And remember these little pieces here too, to glue them on. And this will make the card stand up better, give it more strength to it. Don't glue on the strip, otherwise you're going to glue the letters on, and we don't want that. So we're just going to put this right here on the back. Right there. Make sure it's all lined up here, and then we can trim this excess right here. Just like that. Okay, so here's what we have. Get that on there well. Needs a minute to dry. But here is what our card will look like. Just like that. Now, what I did, I took a strip of 1 inch of pink that I'm going to glue right on here. Let's do that. It's 1 inch by 7 inches. Just like that. And you can use any glue. The liquid glue gives you time to line it all up really well. Gives you a little bit of wiggly room to make it all perfect. Just like that. Also, what I did, I did this die cut, so I'm gonna glue that on here also on the letters to make them stronger. And I'm using the fine tip because the letters are skinny, so I want to make sure not too much glue is oozing out everywhere. Okay, just like that. Gonna glue it right on top of our pink. You could even offset it a little bit and give it a shadow, just like that. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. Then unattach the letters if you like, and glue them on that way. So let's line it all up perfectly here. I think I'm gonna snip right here and give it a chance to go a little bit better to fit on here onto the letters. So here's what we got right now. It was in white, and we got the shadow. So let me put a green or something against it so you can actually see what I'm talking about. Ta-da! See the white shadow on the back? Okay. Now, just like regular, we're just gonna attach everything else. So I die cut a pink sheet and a green one. The pink one is, because the card is 5 by 7, so this one's 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. Get that ready, and we'll get the green one ready right away too.